The legal definition depends on the intention, on the goal, on the purpose. Azerbaijan, you know that in criminal proceedings, in court proceedings, they try to present, 2 days ago it was the International ICJC, they try to present that as an impact of the war. Of course, they are enemies and cities and villages should be destroyed, trying to hide their intent. But the international courts, they're not political debates, places for political debates or discussions. It's not like those who have more political leverages, they can win. No, here it's a matter of norms. Why is Azerbaijan so afraid of going to court proceedings? Because in court proceedings, the truth is revealed, identified very clearly. There were 2 cases that Armenia took to the international court and they won. That no, there was an intention, and the killing of military personnel and the killing of civilians. All these were orchestrated very well with a clear intention behind it. And in the context was forcibly displacement. 2 days ago, there were an article by the advocacy, not academic title. They said, where are the Artsakh Armenians? This was the heading of the article. I mean, if for 2,000 years they have been living there and they are not there today anymore, I mean, how can you explain that people just decided to change their location? No, they were exiled. They were forced to leave using military actions. So the intention is of paramount importance, and intentions only can be proven by evidence, by facts. And Armenia had presented such a large array of evidence that even the international community had no doubts that this was forcibly displacement. Thus, their right to return should be exercised. And Azerbaijan is afraid of this. Not only is afraid, but cannot refuse their right to return. Even though in international courts, you don't have that term right to return, but it is also a normative phenomena. This is just a traditional norm, it's what it's called. So throughout the course of centuries, states have acknowledged that those who have been forcibly displaced have the right to return back to their homeland. It's another situation that Azerbaijan uses it in a mirror-like facts. They're bringing forth mirror-like facts and saying in that case then the Azerbaijanis should have the rights to return to Armenia. And Azerbaijan mainly, if Armenia is bringing forth the right to return, Azerbaijan is trying to counterbalance it with what happened in 92 and 94, which you saw on the November 12th decision that the court decided that we, starting from 1996, we should start studying the facts starting from 1996. So let's speak about the right to return. What is this right to return? The last time in Europe, in 2 days, 200,000 persons were forcibly displaced in Europe. That took place in Horvatia. The Serbian army, in 36 hours, it's called a storm operation. They forcibly displaced 200,000 people, and there were abductions, kidnapping, killings in Cyprus in 1974. We had the forcibly displacement of the Greek people, but up to now the European court is making decisions. So Azerbaijan understands very well that the longer the time flows, that burden is going to become heavier and heavier on their shoulder, and they cannot reject and refuse that the people of Artsakh cannot have the right to return. On the contrary, they are just trying to bring counter arguments. They cannot deny their right to return. Thus, they are working on their counter arguments. The right to return is directly related with the concept of motherland. Return to your own country is the phrase that plays a very crucial, important role. It's not the country that is emphasized, and country is not affiliated with your citizenship. No, it is the word country is associated with your nation, and your nation is associated with such components that we decide what our homeland is. It's your work, it's your community, it's your job, it's your community, it's the church, religion, being a native, being authentic to that area. These concepts you will see in the verdicts at the European Court. And Azerbaijan understands. So Aliyev all of a sudden understand that they have the Western Azerbaijan. So probably somebody gave him a tip that if you are only speaking about the assets, that yes, we left assets in Armenia, well, you will not succeed. You will not succeed because the theoretical basis is not strong. But if you speak about the motherland, the concept of motherland, the Western Azerbaijan was within the borders of Armenia, here you can have a larger, bigger impact. That we have history there, we we left our manuscripts there, we left our temples there. No, but in reality, we just have the assets, real estate. But this is nevertheless, this is Azerbaijani policy that everything that Armenians are bringing forth, which is truthful, that Artsakh has been the motherland of Armenians, because they want to give a strong foundation. That they're not saying we left in Armenia only houses in Armenia, but we left our motherland in Armenia, is what the Azerbaijani people are saying. And scientists say that if they want, they can bring such elements and they can pinpoint to such elements. Nevertheless, today, the international community's statement now is negative towards Azerbaijan. Why? Because there are no Artsakhi people living there, but Azerbaijanis are already returning to their own houses, if we're speaking about the 7 regions. And Azerbaijan is afraid of legal proceedings, because speaking about the right to return, if they found out that Azerbaijan is internationally criminal country and has conducted a number of crimes against humanity, even crimes against humanity. And that's why they want, from the Republic of Armenia, they want to bring their legal case, call it back. And they just want to solve it via political discussions, because here Azerbaijan has an advantage and they can asymmetrically relate the right to return with the right to return of the Azerbaijani people. That is why these political proceedings are important, because here we have the rule of law. We have This is why even the country who has lost in the war, let's say if the football, let's bring an analogy with football, let's say it's, even if you are a loser, you have lost the war, you can still become a winner, like 4-by-1 in the international court, because lots of the myths, they were just gone to zero, and Armenia had the right to return. That's very briefly for us to understand what is the right to return. It is just, it's not only going home, no, it's coming back to your homeland. And your homeland has nothing to do with your citizenship, as Aliyev was saying back then, accept our citizenship and return back to your country. No, a motherland is, according to the Human Rights Article of European Convention, there are a number of components that all of us who are sitting here, how is it that we see our motherland? Even this building, we can consider it our homeland because where we have studied here. So all these are related, are component with the right to return. It's just that we have to implement them and exercise those with our day-to-day lives.